it's Courtney and Allison. We're back for the Making Time for Your Health series on gardening and cooking with herbs. So this is our second week and we are going to focus on basil today. So I'm going to hand it over to Allison and let her tell us all about gardening with basil.
All right, thanks. So I've got a few here in my yard. Basil is a warm season annual. So it's not a perennial. It's not going to come back unless it comes back from seed. You do have to replant it, or you can rebuy it every year, or you can take cuttings, or it can come up from seed. There are a lot of different kinds of basils. There's over 60 different kinds of basils. I don't grow all of those, but here in my yard I have the classic Italian basil. I also have this one. This is called a lettuce leaf basil. It has a much larger leaf, kind of a mild basil flavor. I have this one here. This is called African blue basil. So, you know, some other common ones you might have locally would be Thai basil, lemon basil, just a lot of different kinds to choose from. So if you like basil, you can go crazy like I do and have several different kinds. But the African blue I like to have in the ground. So African blue is unique. It's a sterile plant. It can't make seeds. The seeds are, the flowers are sterile, so it does not get seedy. Some basils can reseed themselves a little too much, maybe sprout up more than you want them to, so that's why I like to have mine in pots. But this one, since it's sterile, it's a great ornamental plant. You can let it flower away. It's really pretty. I've got bees buzzing on it right now. It's a great pollinator plant, so really good for lots of reasons. Basil makes a good indoor plant as well. If you don't want to have it outside, or if you want to overwinter it, you can grow it inside. It does well as an indoor herb. In a nice sunny kitchen window, perhaps. It does need, you know, to have some sun. So for care, they're pretty easy to grow. There's not a whole lot that goes into it. Some of the main points I would say to keep the leaves dry. So when you're watering, don't just spray the leaves with water every time. Water the soil. Otherwise, if you're always getting the leaves wet, they'll get spots on them, and not so good for using it with your cooking. For pruning, it is good to kind of pinch them back. So we want them to be real bushy, and so the African blue, you can let it flower away. It'll stay bushy even with flowers. But the other basils, if you let it flower a lot, it's going to put more effort into flowers than into leaves. So we want the leaves, so just pinch those flowers off. Keep it nice and bushy. Just pinch, prune to keep it making lots of leaves for you. So for harvesting, you can dry basil. So just like any herb, it's good to take a little bundle and just tie it and hang it up. For any herb, you want to dry them in a small bundle, not a great big bunch, because it'll get moldy inside before it has a chance to fully dry. So tie up a small bundle and hang it up. Or you can freeze basil. I have some cubes in my freezer that I made. So I harvested it, I pureed it in a blender with some olive oil, and I just poured it into ice cube trays. And so now in my freezer I've got some basil cubes ready to go into a soup, or something for flavor. And then of course you can just pick it and eat it fresh.
Oh, and there's one more thing, eating it fresh, yes, with capri. That's one of my go-tos, and that's that mozzarella, that basil leaf, and also a tomato, and I drizzle it with that balsamic vinegar. Also basil butter, and that's
Yum.
super good. Yeah, take your basil and your butter. I also put a little bit of garlic in that blender, blend it up, put it in the refrigerator, and then you can take that out and you can put that in your soups. You can also put it on your bread. Oh, and also roasted corn, super good. This basil is really a good enhancer for different recipes. A lamb or fish recipe is super good. Also, you can put that basil, of course, like I said, in your soups and stews, but it's a good enhancer for cheeses and egg dishes, and throw it in some salads too. It is a good reducer for salts and sugar, so we try to use our herbs to take away that salt and sugar from our diet and throw some herbs in and make it a dish just a little bit healthier. It does provide vitamin A and C, and so that's really super good for your body. Vitamin C, it provides that antioxidant, and A, it protects infection in your body, so super good for you. I just encourage everybody to take time with your family, get out in the garden, and hopefully you are planting herbs, and you're getting that exercise too as well. But you know, go out there and harvest your herbs and taking them into the kitchen and cook something really healthy up with your family. It's a good time to do that. But next week we're going to focus on rosemary. So we hope to see you for the third week in the kitchen and in the garden. Thank you.